Democratic, because they know I'm night one. Let's bring in Paul Begala and Angela Rye. Okay, good evening to both of you. So,
hey there.
Angela, am I right? What do you think?
It was so boring. I was thinking about how, when you are in high school and you have these pep rallies, right?
Yeah.
I cannot imagine having like a virtual pep rally. Paul knows this better than me. I've only been to a few Democratic national conventions since working on the Hill. And what I would say is, it was the time where you rah-rah the base, and I was like, snooze, and tell Michelle Obama. So I popped on this red lip for Michelle Obama because she had to tell everybody it is what it is. And that means so many different things, including Trump's own rendition, very recent rendition of it is what it is. And that was his lack of regard for human life and decency as it relates to the coronavirus. But she's telling Trump supporters, listen, you might be at home watching this too. Do not believe your guy is capable of anything more than what he's already showed us. And I think she was super effective tonight.
Well, Paul, what do you think? And I meant just, am I right on the sense that maybe we're too close to it? Because the people at home who I've been speaking to, I thought it was like, oh, well, it's different, maybe it's a little bit boring, but they're saying, hey, I got to listen to people, and I thought the seriousness fits the moment. What do you think? Did you think it was boring? What did you think?
I thought it was terrific because it met the moment. This is my 9th Democratic convention. That's how old I am. Plus, I've covered and attended 4 Republican conventions. It's my 13th convention all in all. And I love them. I love them. Even the Republican conventions, those people are unbelievably nice to me. They really are. But this is not a time to stand up and scream and yell at large rallies. Even Donald Trump, who's terrific at drawing big crowds, can't draw flies when he tries to have these stupid rallies. This was relatable. It was intimate. It was personal. And when you have this combination of left and right, a conservative Republican like Kasich and a socialist like Bernie, when you have this combination of maybe the person in public life with the greatest star power, which is Michelle Obama, along with Kristen Urquiza, who you talked about, and these other folks, the farmer from Pennsylvania who talked about how his farm has been destroyed by Trump. I just thought it was just terrific because people could watch that and relate. And they can't always relate to standing at a podium and speaking and orating to my fellow Americans. I thought that the Democrats took the new reality and really maximized it.
Mm-hmm. I do think Angela has a point, though. I kept saying, and Angela, this is something we can talk about a little bit later. I felt that they should have hired a sports producer and had maybe a virtual audience in there with some virtual cheering, as they've been doing with the NBA, right? They should have taken some lessons from that. But hey, listen, it's not my job to produce it. But I just want to play more. I want to dig in. I want to dig in a little bit more on the former First Lady's speech, and so you and I can talk about it. Let's play a little, and then we'll discuss.
Now, I understand that my message won't be heard by some people. We live in a nation that is deeply divided, and I am a Black woman speaking at the Democratic Convention. But enough of you know me by now. You know that I tell you exactly what I'm feeling. You know I hate politics, but you also know that I care about this nation. You know how much I care about all of our children. So if you take one thing from my words tonight, it is this. If you think things cannot possibly get worse, trust me, they can and they will if we don't make a change in this election. If we have any hope of ending this chaos, we have got to vote for Joe Biden like our lives depend on it.
Interesting. A senior Democratic official, Angela, told CNN that if we could only hear, and I'm quoting here, if we could only hear from Michelle every night. Is that how you see it?
I think that puts a lot of weight on her shoulder, and she already told you what it was. She doesn't like politics. I think that her speech was flawless. There was one part that really resonated with me around empathy and how empathy actually should cause us to act. And it reminds me a lot of what my mom says, Dr. Andrea Rye, where she talks about perspective taking and how it's one of the greatest skills that we can gain in life. And I think that's super important given the environment, again, that we're living in. It's not just COVID, it's also racial tensions. It's racial tensions caused by police violence. It is the economic disparities and the health disparities that are all coming to a head at the same time in the middle of these conventions. And I think that if there was any shortcoming in Michelle Obama's speech tonight, is one that several of my friends have raised. She mentions that she's a Black woman in the speech, but she doesn't say anything about Kamala. Of course, we know that this was recorded before Kamala was named, but we should have did a little add-in. It's too historic of a moment to miss. And Joe Biden's ticket, without her, Paul, we can fight. But without her, it's struggling. It really is. It's hard. So they need
Angela,
that Kamala energy.
Let me ask you this, because I was speaking to Black women tonight afterwards. I said, what did you think, right? I said, my nieces and my mom, my friends, are my focus, unofficial, unscientific focus group, or unofficial focus group. So, okay, look, one of my friends said, and that's why I said we may be too close to it, she said, I'm going to do my best to stay up for you and Chris. Because baby, wine during Michelle, meaning she was drinking wine during Michelle. She said, I already got my John Lewis t-shirt and hoops laid out for work tomorrow because Shell from the South Side showed up tonight. Woo-wee. So was she a motivating factor especially for Black women to get out to the polls and to encourage other people to go?
Is it bad if I tell you I don't think we were her audience tonight? I think that we were not. Like, I do think like she was the best speech to me, by far. I also don't think it felt like a pep rally, as I stated before. I do think that there was an obligation she had to draw in the audience from all of the books she sold, right? That's not just a Black woman audience. Michelle Obama has a way of tearing down barriers by saying, look, y'all, this isn't political. Let me just tell you about character. Let me just push through. And I think that she is so skilled at doing that. That's why they called her the closer on Obama's campaign.
Yeah. Very good point. So let's talk about Bernie Sanders. Paul reached out to supporters tonight, trying to bring the left on board, the more progressive side of the party on board. Republicans like John Kasich are trying to bring the right on board, right? Or independents, or really just people who think logically and who have sense in this moment. Will that work?
I think it worked tonight. A convention has to do two things. You have to rally the base and you have to reassure swing voters. That's a difficult thing. Joe Biden got more votes than any Democrat in the history of our country in this primary process. He got 17,660,000. Good for him. He needs 70 million, though, to become our president. And the road from 17.6 to 70 is full of swing voters, full of moderates. So I don't agree with John Kasich's politics. I like that he was there. Heck, I don't agree with Bernie Sanders' politics. I like that he was there. I thought Bernie did everything he could do, and I think his movement is far more united behind Joe Biden than they ever were behind my friend Hillary. And I'm happy about it. I don't want to whine about the past. But I love having a big tent. There's two kind of churches, like there's two kind of parties. Those who seek out converts and those who hunt down heretics. Mr. Trump wants to hunt down heretics. Okay, I think Joe Biden wants to seek out converts. He wants a big church, and I love that.
All right. Well, Angela got her lipstick out. I don't know what you did, Paul, but
I got my donkey tie out here.
All right.
Isn't this great?
We'll take it.
This is from my friend Jerry Domenico in Dallas.
I've got my convention tie on. Look at that, red, white, and blue. It's election night or convention night. You get to wear this tie. Thank you both. It's good to see both of you. I'll see you throughout the coming week. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Don.
All right.
Thanks, Angela.
We'll be right back.
Bye, Paul.